Yeah, EOS, well, update. I totally killed this one in the adverse sense, as in I literally ended its chance of success by calling it literally to the high point. It was almost the perfect top. Ironic, decent structure. Was a little bit flat bottomed with that, but there was a very gradual falling wedge. So there's two ways of actually reading it. Originally I took, okay, the funnel there, but this was already bits of volume here that were highlighting here, and it did break literally from the wedge. So there's two ways, and this is very much retrospective because I didn't mention this in the first outset, and I hadn't considered it. But largely for me, the trade is over, and I closed with a loss. But there is actually two outlets. You could consider it a break from the relative low 2. In other words, that was your final, that's the low 2, that's your final low 3, high 3. I think these are largely on the exact same plane, the lows, and that one is slightly higher. So you could have had a funnel which essentially the impulsive behavior began here. That would theoretically mean that this was literally a skin of your teeth save on it, because it came to the stop but failed to trade through the stop. Literally the low that I've drawn there. But I'm not impressed by the rising wedge, so I think this broadly for me, I'm okay with the fact that I got out and took my loss. I was able to get out on the rally. I woke up in the morning and then literally very soon after, when we called it a break, it was just here, we literally killed it, in that it stopped doing exactly what it was doing and it went impulsively the other way. It can happen. It's a breakout, and this is breakout trading. So that free view didn't work, and it's into a rising wedge. I'm not overly optimistic anymore on it, and I'm happy to be out. However, had we drawn version B, you might still be hanging on into the trade. But as I wasn't entering at this point, we were entering higher up here, getting out down here. It was a moderate loss, but I put a limit, and thankfully during the day it came. I think it probably only got filled here. I used the key level of significance that was the stop, and I was doing early entries. So it wasn't too bad, but it was a loss. And the irony was it literally stopped very shortly after the video. Less bad was the structure on, let's just do EOS on against the dollar. Then one of the reasons why I thought it's safe to put it out there as a call is it also had a bit of a fractal structure against the dollar. Remember, most cryptos have been poor against the dollar of late, bear trend, etc., etc. And it had already broken early there, so that probably was the clue that the falling wedge was in fact the break on BTC as well. So it might have been that, and we were just in the bear flag pullback. So actually, as it was asserting, it was round about here, and once again in dollar terms it was looking pretty good up until that point, and then it pulled back down, and that has run what I would take as a 3 low up here. So hence why I think it's still best to be out. So EOS setup didn't perform, and that's part of the game. It's also a lesson in essence, because we're going long and alt against BTC, and I've been largely short and doing exceedingly well. So that's a first loss trade in about 6 or 7 that have been working really, really well, taking mainly shorts. The last time we made something on the long side was in fact who I'm going to show you next. That is Mr. Bitcoin Cash, and this structure has advanced. So it was around about here last night, and we needed a sell-off leg. Very impulsive here, second impulse and down. Made its low 2. Once again, really quite zippy on the upside. So this bodes broadly well. Once again, geometry decent. This is an hourly time frame. It's not some micro fractal. So it's decent potential trading idea. I've shared this with the premium guys, and they will have utilized possibly this relative low 2 dip to accumulate, and there was a slight chance it might have pushed out of the squeeze at the top here. It would have been a bit high rising, high slung, but it was getting really tight last night, and there was a possibility of a move. In the end, this was the period that coincided with EOS selling off, so it was kind of a case that all the alts took a bath there. That said, it shrugged off its shoulder a little bit better and has got better structure, and still can trade through the 16s up to 1620s, give or take roughly. So not looking too bad, and we'll see what's happening there. I am already long this, so you make your own mind up and take your own trades and own them if you want. Back to BTC, let's just have a look. I drew this bear flag channel, and we've had a number of periods with a rising wedge, fallout, rising wedge, fallout, and there have been ranges. I'm going to take that one off because that was something I was modeling. It just rolled over and then had a little bit of an impulsive push up here. Basically, it's come down and sort of defended the bear flag low there, and again here. So it's got impulsive from here. So that's it's conforming to the bear flag scenario. It's gone very low vol. It probably needs to push a little bit on the bullish side now because it's close to the low end of the range. There is a slight possibility. As I've said, this low volatility period, a lot of people that were very bullish have suddenly flicked to being more open to the bearish side after being bullish and scrambling for their targets and seeing it's not doing exactly what they're doing. I was seeing Peter Brunt flipping there to it could be bear. To me, it's high probability bear. When you look at this, it's never been under the same level of doubt as them, and that's what's paid so well for us, that generally even in these structures we've not gone long, we've just taken the mini shorts, the fallout, the wedges here and there, and then taken them off because it probably needs a decent move up to give an RH3. We've said before that it might make into the 8,000s. We put in the big key level of significance for that. Let's do it again. It seems to have fallen out of this chart. Let's get him all the way up. Bang. Oh, we had it already. How was it going? Draw that line on top of the line again. Nice work, Batman. Okay, so the inverted head and shoulders potential got badly damaged and has slowed right up. But in fairness, the right shoulder where you would have stops, either there or there, depending on how you read the complexity, I'd say there, hasn't been run yet. But this break here and this pullback and this pullback and this rolling over, there's a lot of time that has gone away. And it's been in the red for quite a while if you take a neckline approximately in this zone. So it's been under the red, so it's dragging out. And this just shows a lack of zip. And this is broadly continuation for downside if it is a bear flag. Will it test the top again, or are we just going to go roughly into here and then roll through the bottom? Often by the time you identify or you recognize a channel, it sometimes ends. And we'll see what's happening. So the bias to bear remains, and none of this is high conviction stuff for us. And accumulating shorts against BTC versus the USD is still my bias. Decide if it's yours and make your own trade. So that's your update. We absolutely destroyed EOS by calling it. It turned around and reversed. Bitcoin Cash is still setting up and extended nicely, and our bias for BTC to the short side remains. That's your update. By the way, the playing great defense, which has kept us very profitable in a very tough time for most people who are hodlers and believers, or long-term investors that are just holding the coins. It's been harsh. There are alternatives in terms of how you can do that. You don't have to get short in crypto if that's what step too far. Just take defense and stop taking drawdown. You can watch your BTC balance just by parking everything on ice for a while the sell-off continues. I also did a clip earlier about the long-term position of where I see Bitcoin relative to its 2014 and to this chart. So in my view, I remain, and I recap in case you missed it, my take is you are here. You might have a the pattern. And as I stressed again, there's no contract that says the targets down sub 2K have to be made. What you want to be is in early, catch the high momentum sell-off part, and then be retreating from the trade and taking size off literally from the triggering event, which is the green line, as you go down. So that's an update that I also provided my premium guys a couple of days ago in greater detail. And I think the 2014 period on Bitcoin was a very interesting model as well, although the final move down did in fact make its target. There was a sustained period. It finally invalidated the inverted after making its downside target here, and that was literally the run through that target below. But what came next is the key message I'm wanting everybody to understand. It's not a binary game. You don't go from a bear market immediately into a bull. You get this long sustained consolidation and chop. Anyway, watch that clip if it's of interest. Next webinar, July. Check the date. Go to themarketsniper.com. Get started. It's a probability-based assessment. It's a transferable skill that you will get. As you can see, it's worked exceedingly well on Bitcoin from 2014 and before, both on the bullish side and on the bearish side, as we showed in that clip. Lots of confluences of key levels of significance, and this is something that will help you with all aspects of your price behavior related work, which includes equities, FX, and many other things. We did suggest that the euro would rally for a short bit under the dollar after making significant targets, pound as well, and we put YouTube's up on the Market Sniper. Go to that channel and follow the Market Sniper. You're on the Crypto Sniper right now, and you'll be able to follow how the method works across all markets. So totally transferable skill, and on top of that, you can be part of a community of like-minded that are looking at the deregulated markets and saying, how do we build our personal wealth and get a lifestyle trader existence out of this? And I can tell you, it beats hitting the tubes in some busy London mile where your face is pushed up against the glass. It beats working for a boss, and it beats most aspects of corporate existence. Anyway, you make your own decision. It's not for everybody, but if it suits you, do pop along. Speak to you all soon, and hope you enjoy the clip.